Going to brunch maybe, go have a cup of coffee, cause we're not gonna hear that case.
You're not gonna hear.
No.
It's very unusual.
Yeah, I mean, you can wait until we do it officially, but
Okay, then, we'll wait till they do it at the show. This one. This was it.
everybody on? With Mary?
Alicia. Priscilla. Is it Edward?
Just about, yep.
Yeah, I don't see,
We're gonna wait, we're gonna have to wait for Mary.
Mary's not here, and I also don't see Rick on.
Ms. Rosa? Yeah, there's.
We are unmuted.
We would use we would propose, would have to do that. Because they did it for state reps and state senator, they could only do 2 terms. I think 2 terms is too short, I think 3 max. Because the first term you're learning, the second term you're beginning to do, and the third term, to me, I feel like you finished what you started in the second term, because 2, they have.
She didn't say anything about being absent, did she,
They
Marie?
were 4-year terms and 2.
Yeah.
No, it's not hearing anything from her.
It's too, first 2 years, you just learn. So.
I agree with some sort of.
Do you wanna start with the
limit.
preamble or you need
Not
to
sure.
wait for her?
Yeah,
Wait,
because after a while.
couple more minutes.
You're not doing it, just there.
I think that Congressmen should have a longer term. As soon as they get elected, they have to start putting funding, it's 2 years. But limit senators to limit,
Let me go call her.
Okay,
president has a limit.
In terms of reach.
I agree with some sort of.
How many? What's the district?
No, I'm sure that you're talking about. To get something on that.
No, okay, something your ward, it's not the whole city.
No, listen. To return.
If you're presenting it for practices, you'll not hold. Or, well, the whole city, yes. They will tell you what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's not that much.
Sure.
You should always get like 3 times what they ask you for, because
They verify the voters. Some of them are invalid, silent, I'm not sure.
folks. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the July 17th session of the Board of Zoning Appeals. Ms. Kukla will start with reading the preamble.
Thank you. My name is Liz Cooper. I'm the Secretary of the Board of Zoning Appeals, and I'm going to read the preamble for you this morning, this July 17th, 2023. In compliance with notification requirements of the city's open meeting law in section 101.021 of the codified ordinances of Cleveland, Ohio, 1976, notice of this meeting has been publicly posted. All boards and commissions under the purview of the city planning department conducts its meetings according to Robert's Rules of Order. Actions during the meeting will be taken by voice vote. Abstentions from any vote due to a conflict of interest should be stated for the record prior to the taking of any vote. In order to ensure that everyone participating in the meeting have the opportunity to be heard, we ask that you use the raise hand feature before asking a question or making a comment. The raise hand feature can be found in the participants panel on the desktop and mobile version and activated by clicking the hand icon. Please wait for the chair or facilitator to recognize you and be sure to select unmute and announce yourself before you speak. When finished speaking, please lower your hand by clicking on the raise hand icon again and mute your microphone. We will also be utilizing the chat feature to communicate with participants. The chat feature can be activated by clicking the chat button located on the bottom of the WebEx. Please note that call-in users can use *6 to unmute yourself. All meeting activity is being recorded via the WebEx platform. These proceedings are also being live streamed via YouTube for public view. We have provided a link to the meeting for those who wish to speak on a particular case via our website and email. All requests to speak on a particular matter have been considered. We have also received emails from those who have provided written comment on our particular matter. Back to you, Madam Chair. Actually, first, this morning, we have a new board member. Her name is Arlisha Wilson. We will need to give her the oath of office before we take the roll. There she is.
Good morning, Arlisha.
Hello and good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Ms. Cornely, are you able to read the oath this morning?
Sure. Please raise your right hand and repeat after me.
Why don't we introduce you first?
Hi, I'm Mary Cornely. I'm an attorney for the Board of Zoning Appeals.
So this is official, Arlisha.
Turn back.
Okay. I, Arlisha Wilson,
I, Arlisha Wilson,
do solemnly swear that I will support
do solemnly swear that I will support
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio
and the Constitution of the State of Ohio
and the Charter of the City of Cleveland,
and the Charter of the City of Cleveland,
and that I will faithfully, honestly, and impartially discharge the duties of the Board of Zoning Appeals
discharge the duties of the Board of Zoning Appeals
of the City of Cleveland
of the City of Cleveland.
during my continuance in said office.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch the last part. Can you say it again?
During my continuance in said office.
During my continuance in said office.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Morning.
Welcome officially to the Board of Zoning Appeals. We're happy to have you, Arlisha.
Thank you. Likewise, I'm happy to be here.
All right.
Okay, so I
Moving
will
on.
call the roll. That's all right with you?
Yes.
Ms. Roca.
Present.
Ms. Wilson,
Present.
and Ms. Holzer is absent this morning.
Mhm.
Ms. Bates.
I am here.
Madam Chair, we have a quorum with 3 members. In this case, we should state for the record and for the folks online and present in person that in order for your variance to pass, you would need a unanimous vote of the 3 members. And in this case, you risk the case failing or the decision failing if there is not a unanimous vote. If the motion fails, then the decision of building and housing remains the same and your variance is technically denied. So if you would like to postpone the case to allow for at least 4 members to be present, which would be next week. Of course, it would take a couple of weeks for us to get you back on. But you may ask for the postponement when your case is called.
Is that clear to everyone? So because we have 3 members, when we call your case, should you choose, you can ask for a postponement. Or move forward if you feel confident and are happy with just 3 members today. All right. let's go over withdrawals.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the screen before you, calendar number 23-112 regarding Joe Parivo proposing to construct a new storage building in a multifamily district at 9924 Denison Avenue. The appellant contacted us last week and stated that he does not want to go forward and is withdrawing his case. And then calendar number 23-054 at 2906 Fulton Road. Caribe Development LLC proposed to erect an addition and expand use from bakery to restaurant to include party center. The applicants in this case contacted us this morning to state that they do not want to go forward and they are also withdrawing their appeal. And those are the withdrawals this morning. We have no postponements.
No postponements. So anyone who is online or present in person for either of those two cases, 23-112 or 23-054, both of those cases are withdrawn and we will not be hearing them.
Do we have any council people on the phone or online? I know we don't have any here.
Okay. Good to see you again, ladies. Have a good day. Thanks for coming down.
Okay, be careful out there.
You too.
Madam Chair, I do not see any council people online at the moment.
Okay. Yeah,
I can read it in Madam Chair if you'd like.
okay. Ms. Kukla, since we have 3 members and Ms. Wilson is new, Ms. Kukla is going to read the case into the record. Ms. Roca, I'll need you to do the oath as you have been doing, please.
Okay, we're gonna start at the top with calendar number 23-108 at 6100 Truson Avenue. Matt Prop LLC proposed to install 513 linear feet of 10-foot-high electrified security fence in the C2 General Industry District. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the following section of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances. Section 358.05A1, which states that in general and unrestricted industry districts, fences in front yards and in actual side street yards shall not exceed 6 feet in height and may be either open or solid. 10-foot-high electrified fence is proposed in the actual front yard. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Ms. Roca, the oath, please.
Yes, Madam Chair. I'll start with people on the call, anyone who is here for this case. I'm swearing in all who are present for this case. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your hand, reply with I do, your name, and state your address.
I do. Michael Pate, 315 South Maple Street, Columbia, South Carolina.
Thank you.
Michael, I'm sorry. Could we have you repeat your last name, please?
My name is Michael Pate, P-A-T-E.
Great, thank you.
I do. Christopher Alvarado, Slavic Village Development, 5620 Broadway Avenue, Cleveland, 44127.
Is there anybody else on the call?
Rizzo, 3203 Harvard Avenue, Newburgh Heights, 44105 with Matt Prop.
Thank you. Is there anybody in the room, present in the room?
With me, ma'am?
No.
All right,
There's
thank you.
no.
Madam Chair, back to you.
Thank you. Mike with Mad Prop, what's your last name again?
Mike Pantaleo,
Can you spell that for me?
P-A-N-T-A-L-E-O.
Okay. Just a reminder to everyone, though she is not present with us, we do have a court reporter. So I would urge you to speak up, be clear, and if you have a name that might be more difficult to spell, please include the spelling. Thanks. Okay. Who's going to be the spokesperson for this case?
Would you like the history, Madam
Oh,
Chair?
yes. History of the property, please.
Thank you, Madam
Getting
Chair.
ahead of myself.
This property was originally zoned, or it was placed in the current zoning, and there's been no change since 1929. We didn't find any records in our record administration office. We did not find any variances on file in our office. We did find in 2011, there was a violation issued for unauthorized use on the property. And that's all that I have. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, legal standard, please.
Madam Chair, members of the Board of Health is requesting an area variance from the fencing requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will create practical difficulty not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning.
Thank you. All right, now, who will be the spokesperson for this case?
I will, Michael Pate.
Okay, Michael, go ahead. Might
All
need
right.
you to speak up just a tad, please.
Okay, let me see if I can turn the volume up here. Hold on one second.
There you go.
Couldn't get on a computer, so I had to go to the phone.
Oh, that's always challenging on a Monday morning.
Oh, yes, it is. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay.
Madam Chair,
Yes.
I did find something else in our file regarding the history, if I could read it.
Okay, one moment, please. We have another bit of history to include.
I apologize. I didn't realize that the project area also includes 6050 Truson. We do have two variances on file for the 6050 Truson Avenue. In calendar number 18-175, a variance was granted to install a 10-foot tall battery-powered low-voltage perimeter security system to be located inside of an existing chain link fence around a 327,000 square foot lot in a B3 general industry district. This was granted without any conditions in October of 2018. And also, sorry, Madam Chair, there's one more that's earlier than that in calendar 17-142. Again, for the address of 6050 Truson Avenue, a variance was granted to use property for storage and recovery of various construction materials, including bricks, wood, glass, metals, clay, etc. This was also granted with no conditions, and the date was June 26, 2017. I apologize for missing that. Thank you, Madam Chair, for that time.
That's okay. All right, so we have a little more information on that that might be pertinent to our decisions. So, all right, Michael, go ahead.
Okay. My name is Michael Pate. I'm Director of Government Relations for Amerock. We are a security company that installs battery-powered, alarmed electric security fences. As you just heard, we have already installed one of these devices at 2018. In 2018 at 6050 Truson. No incidents there. The crime has been stopped cold, no break-ins, and done nothing but basically enhance the value of the property and the community as we've stopped crime on that particular piece of property. We're asking for the variance for a very simple reason. If you have a 8-foot or a 6-foot tall perimeter fence or wall or barrier, and our device is the same height, someone's just going to stand on top of that and drop inside and do their dirty deeds. If we push it up, then no one's going over the top. Even in my younger athletic days when I could dunk a basketball, my feet were only 3.5, 4 feet off the ground, not 10. So if someone's going over a 10-foot fence, they're going to injure themselves and they won't do it. Most people who are breaking in to basically vandalize the property or steal anything that's out in the open in these storage areas. So that's what we do. It's a very simple device. It's operated on a 12-volt battery. So the battery that is in your car right now is what we use to power the entire device. We sit just inside of the existing perimeter barrier or fence, about 100 to 200 millimeters. We take that 12-volt battery and we keep it charged with a solar array. We are never, ever attached to the electrical infrastructure in any way. So it's solar panels, a 12-volt battery, an energizer that takes that 12 volts, amplifies it to about 7,000 volts. It takes 1.1 seconds for that to happen. Once that amplification takes place, The Energizer cannot hold that energy no longer mechanically, and it releases that energy down the interior line back to an alarm panel. That takes 3/10,000ths of a second. So every 1.1 seconds, we release the energy down the interior line, and it comes back to the alarm panel in 3/10,000ths of a second. So we're doing a quick perimeter check every 1.1 seconds. Once that energy comes back on the line to the alarm panel and it's a nice clean return, nothing happens. If that energy return is violated for 5 consecutive returns, we set the alarms off, both on the site and silently back to our control group over here in Columbia, South Carolina, our call center, and we go through a call list. And the business owner provides us a list of names and contacts so we can call them to verify the alarms. We do this with cameras. So the customer can sit at home, bring up on Wi-Fi a particular fence line that we think the problem is on, look at it and go, hey, we've had a big snowstorm over here in Cleveland today. It knocked out that big tree on the corner and took out the fence. Let's button it up and go back to bed, guys. Or I got a bunch of folks in a flatbed truck have cut a hole in my fence. They're robbing me right now. Please call the local police department. And that's what we do. There are signs on here that warn people not to touch it. It's a safe product. It's not going to injure anybody. These devices have been around since the 30s of the last century. We test and label these devices. So if you're familiar with UL, Underwriters Laboratories, we use a NERDL, a nationally recognized testing laboratory that tests these devices to our standards. The standards are international and national in nature, and the same standard number applies for the international and national standards. So it's 60335-2-76. That's the standard we test to. Our manufacturing and laboratory facilities are audited every year by the NERDL, a nationally recognized testing laboratory, which works under the auspices of OSHA. There has never been a serious injury with these devices in the entire time that they've been operated. If you have any other questions, I'd like to answer them for you. Thank you for your time.
So if I understood this correctly, it sits inside the already erected chain link fence?
That is correct.
And what was the distance that it sits inside from that fence?
The standard tells you 100 to 200 millimeters. Obviously, that's metric. We don't do that here in the good old USA. So that's roughly between 4 and 8 inches.
Okay. All right. Anyone else from the project team wish to make a statement? Mike, did you want to make a statement?
No, he pretty much spelled it out. I have Steve Rizzo, the boss, here too.
My biggest concern is, I mean, there are a couple electric fences around the city around my address, my location. I talked to them personally. They said it eliminated all the theft and vandalism that they were having. The problem I'm having now is I have to move my equipment in and out every Friday evening, bring it back Monday. It's getting to the point where, other than over $25,000 a year of theft and $50,000 a year of vandalism to the equipment, I think this would eliminate it. I installed one of these at my terminal right in Newburgh Heights, and it's been no problem. I like the location where I'm at there. I've never really. It's just challenging with the vandalism and the kids over there now, where kids or adults with the scrap. I leave a container out front just so they throw the garbage in there instead all over the street, and we clean that up every Monday. But I also put another container out front just so they could take the scrap from there instead of breaking in my facility. And now it's at a point where they take the scrap and still cut the fence and drive in. Other than the scrap they're taking, the vandalism, there's also illegal dumping at nighttime, and it's to the point where I'm spending a lot of money on security and everything else, and I think this would eliminate it. It's hard for me to get there soon enough when there is a camera going off, but that's all I'm asking for is permission to get this installed and make my life a little easier so I could stay in Cleveland and operate safely. Thank you.
Okay. And so that was Mike, you mentioned Steve.
Steve
Is he
Rizzo.
speaking? Pardon?
This is Steve Rizzo. That's who just spoke.
Oh, okay. We didn't swear you in, Steve. So we
I'm
need to
sorry?
do that. We didn't swear you in, so we need to do that real quickly.
Oh,
Ms. Roca, can you swear in Mr. Rizzo quickly for me?
Sure. I'm swearing in all who are present for this case. Do you swear and affirm to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please say I do, state your name and your address.
Thank you. All right. Anyone else from the project team? Okay, we'll go to you, Mr. Alvarado.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yes, so our team at Slavic Village Development has met with the MadProp team, as well as with Councilman Starr, and both Councilman Starr and Slavic Village Development are in support of this project.
Okay, great. Okay, any questions from the board? Okay, city planning?
Maurice Swoon, City Planning. We also are very much in support of this. We understand the problems that the applicant is having with the thefts. And we have had these installed in other general industry locations in the city without incident. So we support this.
Okay. All right, board, I'll entertain a motion. With three of us today, it narrows down who's gonna do what. So, Ms. Wilson, if you feel brave and want to make a motion on this, you can. Otherwise, Ms. Roca probably will, and then you can go to the second.
All right, I would move to approve this request.
All right.
Board
that
Member
is-
Roca, I second.
Okay, this is for calendar number 23-108. Ms. Kukla, we have a motion and a second.
Thank you. Ms. Roca?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. V?
Yes.
Calendar number 23-108 is granted. It'll be ratified next week, and then we will send the appellants a letter.
Good luck to you, gentlemen. Hope
Thank
this helps problem solve your situation.
thank you. I appreciate it. You guys have a great day.
You as well. All right, moving on.
Right. Madam Chair, this is calendar number 23-111 regarding 10831 Magnolia Drive. University Circle Inc. proposed to erect a 7,965 square foot office addition to existing nonprofit community development organization building in an AA1 one-family residential district. I'm sorry, that's a limited one-family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the following sections of Cleveland codified ordinances as stated in the public record and on the screen before you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
All right. Thank you. Legal standard, please.
Madam Chair, no,
I think this is what people in first.
Oh, yes. Ms. Roca, would you like to do the oath?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'm going to start with swearing in those who are on the phone, on the call. Swearing in all who are present for this case. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your hand, reply with I do, state your name and state your address.
I do. Steve Jennings, LDA Architects, 5000 Euclid Avenue.
Steve, could I get you to spell your last name, please?
Jennings.
Great, thank you. That's
I
not
do.
how I heard it. Sorry, go ahead.
Sure, I do. Alicia Blonsky, 10831 Magnolia Drive, Cleveland.
Is there anybody else on the call? Is there anybody?
Yes.
Oh.
This is Matt Provolt, Provolt, from 10831 Magnolia Drive, Cleveland.
Thank you. Is there anyone present in the room for this case? Thank you. Madam Chair, back to you.
All right, great, thank you. All right, history of the property?
Thank you, Madam Chair. In 1929, this property was zoned single family. In 1944, it was changed to the current limited one family. In our Records Administration office, we found that in 1909, a permit was issued to erect a dwelling and a garage. And then, Madam Chair, in the more recent history in the Acela system, we find that there were, let me see where this starts. There are a yearly food license issued for the property starting in 2011. We see that there were signage permits issued in 2009 and 2015. Sorry, that's 2016. In 2017, a permit was issued to erect a temporary tent for an event. 2017 as well, a permit was issued to erect a 216 square foot vestibule with an ADA toilet and access ramp. And then, Madam Chair, there are no variances on file for this address. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Great. Legal standard, please.
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting a use variance from the requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the use variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will result in unnecessary hardship, particular to the property, such that there will be no economic use of the property without variance, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and if granting variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Thank you. All right. Who's going to be the spokesperson?
I guess LDA, Steve Jennings at LDA can talk. And this is kind of a pretty simple request. University Circle Incorporated's been in this building since 1971. And we are proposing an addition immediately behind the existing building. So it really will not be visible looking from the street, straight on. So it's really just, I think as the request stated, an expansion of a non-conforming use. So it's just adding on to what's already been there for over 50 years.
All right. Is there anyone else related to this project team that wants to make a statement?
I'll just, this is Elise from UCI. I'll just make a statement that we are, we've held community meetings about the project prior to going through the design review, where we were approved, as the letter attests, by the Landmarks Commission, as well as recommended for approval by the local design review. And we also have the support of our Councilman Conwell, and had forwarded a letter this morning, since he was unable to attend this morning, to voice his support.
How many community meetings have you had, Ms. Yablonski?
So we shared the project at a quarterly broader organizational UCI meeting, and then held it its own project meeting on the Magnolia project, in addition to the public hearings through the design review process at Landmarks Commission.
Okay. So landmarks and design review, you've been through that, and it sounds like 2 community meetings?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Okay. All right, Matt, did you want to make a statement?
I do not need to make a statement in addition to what Ms. Zablonsky has already said.
Okay, great. All right. Board, any questions or comments?
Yes, Madam Chair, I would just like some more information from the appellant on, what this building is for, the carriage house, and I don't think we've heard testimony about the use or really any testimony about it.
Sorry,
Right.
so yes, the existing building is being currently used as a office building for a nonprofit community development corporation. So that use will continue to be used for the, addition as well. So the entire site will be this nonprofit community organization. The carriage house that's at the back of the property is also currently being used as office space. That will be converted to a multi-purpose space, which can be used as both, conference space for the office staff and provide availability for public meetings as well, since it's kind of detached and could accommodate community gatherings.
Thanks for that. Thank you.
Madam Chair, who was that speaking?
Steve, that was you making the statement, right?
Yes. That is-
Okay.
yes.
Just a reminder, that when you speak, we just need you to state your name before you make your statement, so that it is captured for the court reporter.
Yep, sorry.
Okay, that's all right.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is Elise again with UCI. Just to provide a bit more context, as was stated, we've been in the building for over 50 years, and the intent of this project is to renovate our existing building on Magnolia. We're proud to be a part of this historic building, and then add an expansion so that we can have modern and accessible office spaces for our staff. So with the project, we'll be renovating and restoring the Magnolia building, and then adding on the modern addition to allow for adequate office space.
All right.
And this is Steve Jennings again, and that addition does include an elevator to provide access to all floors of the building.
Excellent. So you'll be ADA throughout the building.
Correct.
Okay, great. Ms. Roca, anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Ms. Wilson, any questions?
No questions for me.
Okay, great. City planning?
Madam Chair, I did have one more question.
Yes.
I'm not sure if I heard what the main building is used for. Is that where the meetings will be held? And are there public events and things like that, or?
I think the carriage house, can you clarify
Yeah.
that, either of you,
Yeah.
people on the project team?
Yep,
For
this
Ms.
is Steve
Kukla?
This is Steve Jennings. So the existing building on the first floor will be primarily conference rooms for the office staff or private meetings. The second floor is office, desk space workstations for the staff, as is the new addition. And then, as you said, the carriage house is the public, potential public meeting area.
Thank you. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. I'm just curious, what's your capacity in the carriage house? How large an event can you house in that building?
I think we're just around 50 people.
Okay, great. Are you gonna do catering in that building as well?
I think it would depend on the event, but there is a small kitchenette to allow for, yes, food being brought in and but not prepared in there.
Not prepared on site. Okay, great. All right, city planning?
Maurice Ruan, City Planning, as was already, I believe somebody already stated, this was approved by the Landmarks Commission. And of course, this is just a expansion of a non-conforming use that has actually been used for this purpose for 50 years. They are improving the building. There's definitely no negative impacts on the surrounding community. Most of the area is a low zone, one family. It does tend to be offices associated with the university or other things. So we would 100% support this.
Sort of the nature of that neighborhood, really.
Exactly.
Okay, all right, so, the variance number 2 on the agenda relative to the Cleveland Landmarks Commission approval. That's already taken care of. So we're really looking at item number 1 for whichever of my board members is going to craft the motion, which I will entertain at this point.
Madam Chair, after hearing testimony on this case, I move to approve calendar number 23-111.
All right. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Would you like to call the roll when you're ready?
Yes, thank you. Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Roca?
Yes.
Ms. Bailey?
Yes.
Calendar number 23-111 is granted. It'll be ratified next week, and then we will send the appellant a letter.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck
Thank
to you.
you.
We'll look forward to seeing this come to fruition for you folks.
Thank you very much.
All right, moving on to calendar number 23-119.
Okay, Madam Chair, I'll read it into the record. Calendar number 23-119 regarding 4200 Rocky River Drive. Focal Point Properties LLC owner proposes to change use from store to restaurant, parentheses, pizza shop in a C1 local retail business district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the following sections of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances. Section 357.07A, which states that a 25-foot specific setback is required along Rocky River Drive, about a 6-foot setback proposed for the parking spaces, and section 352.10, which states that a 6-foot wide landscape strip is required between the parking lot and the street along Rocky River Drive and Woodbury Avenue, and no landscaping plan is proposed or was proposed at the time of the review. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. Great. Legal standard, please.
Madam Chair, members of the board, our appellant is requesting area variances from the setback and landscape requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the area variances, the appellant must prove that denying the request will create practical difficulty, not generally shared by other land or buildings in the same district, or deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variances will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning.
Thank you. Ms. Roca?
We can go back to the, there you
History of the
go.
property.
I'm sorry.
Have the history of the property, sorry to interrupt, Ms. Roca. This property was originally zoned general retail in 1929. In 2009, it was changed to the current local retail business district. In our records administration office, we only found that in 1982, a permit was issued to erect a double-face internally illuminated ground sign, business sign. And then in the more recent history, we see that in 1989, a permit was issued for temporary use for Christmas tree sales. And that's all that we have, Madam Chair, other than in 2014, there was a complaint made. And then there was a violation notice issued. I believe that's for exterior alterations or exterior conditions. And that's all that I have. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Okay. All right, back to you, Ms. Roca.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll start with people who are on the phone. I'm swearing in all who are present for this case. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth, nothing but the truth? Please raise your hand, reply with I do, state your name and your address.
I do. John Fargus, F as in Frank, ARGUS. Address is 4200 Rocky River Drive, Cleveland.
I do. Josh Fargus, address 4200 Rocky River Drive, Cleveland.
Yes, and I will as well. Kevin Robinette. I do. 2091 South Belvoir Boulevard, South Euclid, Ohio.
I do. Ben Campbell. I work for West Park Camps Neighborhood Development. Address is 17407 Lorraine Avenue, Cleveland.
Thank you. Is there anyone in the room present for this case?
Yes. You can step forward if you'd like. You pull a chair up.
Closer to the microphone.
Yeah, yeah, if you'd
Right,
like to
it's the desk
sit,
here. If you want to pull up a chair, you can sit.
yeah. And the microphone is this white on the table there.
Okay, I'm here for on behalf of Elena Schiller. And she is owner of the property next door at 4194 Rocky River Drive.
And we need your name.
My name is Christopher Schiller.
Madam Chair,
her
can
brother-
he spell that last name?
SCHILLA.
Thank you.
All right. All right, is that everyone? Okay, moving on. All right, gentlemen, would you like to tell us what you'd like to do?
Yes, this is John Fargus, one of the owners of Dante's Pizza.
Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah, I do that. You need to stand right?
Yeah, all right. Go ahead.
All right, yeah, this is John Fargus, one of the owners of Dante's Pizza. We're currently operating at 4176 Rocky River Drive, which is roughly about 400 feet down the street north of the building that we purchased. Currently, we're outgrowing the space that we're in right now, and we're growing at a pretty fast pace. So we decided to go ahead, purchase this building, which gives us a lot more opportunity to grow and expand. Plus, when we did purchase the building, we knew it needed a lot of renovations. So we decided to make the commitment and put the money into this facility and this building and make it a true icon in the West Park area. Dante's Pizza was established in 1963, so this year it's been there 60 years. I purchased the business 13 years ago, and we have grown it to the point where we just cannot operate sufficiently in the building that we're in right now that we lease. So with that said, taking this building, we have a lot more room to actually add the equipment that we really need to expand this business and to take it to the next level. I got my two sons involved. They are now owners to take this to the next generation. So with this said, there's a lot of opportunity for us here. And we are committed to put a lot of money into this for renovation. We have plans. We're working with Cam's Corner Development to do a complete storefront renovation, do the sides of the building. We've already stripped the roof off, which was in terrible condition when we bought the property. We invested over $35,000 just to put a new roof on it. So we have the plans that we want to move forward with. We want to make this place a very nice opportunity and a good showcase for Cam's Corner. The only issue that we have is what we're trying to explain today, and again, thank you for hearing us out, is our parking. We know that there was one concern about putting a landscape in the front right corner of the property, which we are definitely involved with. We 100% agree. That'll basically really make the property, shine a lot after we do the total storefront renovation. Along the side of the building, there's basically a patch of grass that's from the sidewalk to the street. What we propose to do is landscape that area all the way down the length of the building, put in nice trees, we can mulch it, we can put flowers, we can make it look very, very good. We're just asking that we can keep our parking for our customers on the front, obviously the 25-foot setback, because the building does sit back from Rocky River Drive, and we really do need this parking. And then along the side of the building, we need that parking for our employees. We're expanding, we're growing. This is a great opportunity, not just for us, but for West Park. And we want to make this happen, and we want to do it the right way. And we've worked with our architects. I've worked with Ben Campbell, who's here now, with the Cam's Corner development. We're already involved in the storefront renovation. I talked to our councilman, Charles Slife, who I think submitted a letter to you guys with, his approval and helping us get this done, as well as Cam's Corner Development Center. So we're just asking that we could have our parking and give us an opportunity to show you what we can do with this building.
So, looking at the site plan, you're proposing along Woodbury Avenue to further develop the landscaping that's essentially the tree lawn? Is that
Yes.
what I'm understanding?
Yes, ma'am. There's really just a tree lawn there. We want to bring in landscapers and have them come in, plant nice trees. We can mulch it, we could stone it. We can make it look very appealing.
And then your landscaping on your frontage of Rocky River Drive, it looks like I'm looking at the lower right-hand corner.
Correct.
That little bit that's in front of the parking spaces looks like 3 shrubs or something like that.
Yeah.
Correct.
And what is the dimension of that? What's the width of that planting bed?
I believe it was requested a 3-foot by 6-foot bed, if I'm not mistaken, but we would entertain what would be required.
Yeah, excuse me, this is Kevin.
Yes.
That triangular sized bed varies from 5 to 7 feet.
All right. And where's the curb cut? Is that just above that planting bed then?
It is where you see at the upper part of the site plan on Rocky River Drive, you can see a dimension there, I believe, of 24 foot 8 inches. That's the existing curb cut off of Rocky River Drive.
The curb cut's 24, 8?
Yeah. Yes. Approximately.
There are 2 curb cuts.
There's a curb cut off of Woodbury as well.
Okay, thank you.
What's the dimension of that curb cut?
It's a little less than 24 feet, approximately. I observed the dimensions in the field. We didn't have a survey to work from.
All right. So those are just your field measurements?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I
So
said,
we have
Yes.
one ADA parking place, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yes.
All right. All right, Mr. Robinette, I take it you're the architect?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have anything else you want to add?
No.
All right, Mr. Campbell, do you want to make a statement?
Yes, I would. Thank you, Madam Chair, members of the board. I did submit a letter via email to Secretary Kukla. I'm not sure if that was shared, but I can kind of paraphrase from that.
Okay. Looks like we got it. Did we get the letter
Okay,
from?
good.
Yes, Madam Chair, in the reference to that, we have that which is on the screen there, as well as comments from the councilman. Councilman stated that he mirrors the opinions of West Park CAMS. So as Mr. Campbell is about to present, Councilman's life also has the same support.
So Mr. Campbell, sounds like you're speaking for the councilman as well as the CDC in your statement here. So you want to go ahead?
Yeah, that's true. And yeah, I think that John Fargus covered that fully complying with the landscaping code they wouldn't be able to meet the parking needs of their customers, employees, deliveries, also dumpster placement, because that back of the parking lot, meaning the west end of the property, there's an easement that goes to the adjacent property, so that needs to remain open without a
Excuse
parking.
me, if we can go to the site plan again, I think, Maurice.
Tony, when that lady called, you need to tell her that I never called down there to ask about the tax.
Excuse me, please mute yourself.
Oh, I'm
Thank
sorry.
you. All right. Okay, Mr. Campbell, go ahead. We've got the site plan up so you can kind of use that as reference.
Yeah, so basically, even though that back area behind the building is paved, it's really not usable because of the easement. So really, to meet the needs, like I say, of customers, employees, deliveries, dumpster, they need the parking that they can maintain or retain, and they have revised their initial plan from no landscaping to, as John referred to, the frontage strip and the additions to the tree lawn along Woodbury to further green the site. I wanted to speak to the 25-foot specific setback. This came up in a recent construction project. We didn't really know that was on the books. This could be one of those regulations that goes decades ago. It's really outdated, and it doesn't really meet, it's not consistent with what we would like to do urban design wise on the street. We've had conversations with the councilman and city planning about repealing that and removing it from the zoning map. I'm not saying it's a moot point now because it's still on the books, but the plan is to remove it. And then just the other thing that I would offer is that this is a thriving business. This is what they want to do to grow, and the kind of commitment they're making to this building, comprehensive interior exterior renovation. This is the kind of investment we'd like to see neighborhood wide, and particularly on Rocky River Drive, which unfortunately has too many vacant, underutilized buildings like this one that really need to be updated and modernized. So on that's the basis of our support for this project.
Okay, great. Thank you. Did you want to make your statement, Mr. Christopher?
Yes.
Can you turn to us, please? Can you
get back to the,
you want the site plan or the photographs?
the photograph of where it's close to the residential,
Okay. We'll pull that up.
right there.
Okay.
Will
And
they be?
I need you to turn so you can speak into the mic.
Okay.
Okay.
See that well-maintained house, there's senior citizens living there, and I think the dumpster is too close. The plan for the dumpster enclosure is too close to the home, because dumpsters do attract rodents. And another question I have is, where will you be venting your cooking of the meat on the pizzas, prevent, how are you gonna vent that? Where is the vent gonna be? Because imagine yourself sitting on the front porch there, that's a well-maintained house, there's senior citizens living there, and they have to inhale the smoke from the pizza or the cooking of the flesh of the meat, coming towards their home. So where will it be vented?
This is John Fargus. We have rooftop vents that are going out. It goes above and beyond even the rooftop of the house. So currently, our current location, we are actually on top of the apartment buildings.
Underneath, yeah.
Basically, we went out 8 inches from the wall, keeping it away from their windows. We exhausted it straight up on top of the actual roof of the building, which will be the same for this as well. And quite honestly, these are filtered exhaust systems, so there's no escape of anything that's coming out of there, any type of soot, grease, or anything. These are high-tech filtered exhaust systems that are coming out. So I do not see that as a problem whatsoever.
Could you respond to the question about the dumpster, please?
The dumpster, sure. Our goal was like Ben Campbell had mentioned, that is an easement there, which is in terrible condition. So I couldn't even put a dumpster back there. I don't own the easement. The building next to myself, which I believe he's speaking upon, is responsible for that. And I think that needs to be repaired. However, we cannot put anything there. We cannot block it. But we want to enclose the dumpster in there so no one can see anything. It's boxed in. You won't even know that this is a dumpster. It's basically fenced in with the actual greenage or whatever outer layer we decide to put there to totally block it. And the drive for it to come in is right there and pick up. So the dumpster, pardon me?
Excuse me, could the dumpster be moved further towards Rocky River Drive, or that would be further
Sure.
east? So
Is this a curb cut right here?
There's a curb there, correct. And for a service to come in and pick it up and dump it, it would be, I mean, kind of difficult, because then now we're actually moving into our landscaping.
Right.
Condition, the location that we're seeking right now is perfect location, because it's right there. There's a drive just east of the easement. So we're not bearing any concern of a piece of property that we don't own. We respect that. And we also respect that we want to enclose that, where a lot of dumpsters, people just put them there and they're full visible. This will actually be enclosed with the
And
locking system.
I would
as well.
imagine you're probably going to have pest control installed, which is
Most
typical around restaurants.
This is John Fargus again. Yes, most definitely. We have an exterminating company that we use every month. We abide by the health inspectors' demands and the city's demands for having our inspections done. We have them come in every month. That we take very seriously. We are a restaurant. And that's something that is on the top of our list that we watch all the time. And we do not miss it. They come in every single month. I have records for 13 years if needed that shows that from day one, when I took this over, that this place has been fully taken care of for 13 straight years. And I will continue to do that. That is basically a requirement when you own a restaurant.
I have another question, please.
Just a quick question. Were there community meetings on this project, Mr. Campbell?
This one, no. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't on a Board of Zoning. This one we did not.
Okay. Because this, the gentleman has a number of questions, which we usually don't do a back and forth like this when we're before the board. That usually needs to happen before, but we're going to entertain his questions at this point. So go ahead with your next question.
Could I propose that there is a community meeting? Is that the normal procedure, Mr. Campbell? Or is this
Well, like I
deviant-
say, this is
deviant from the norm?
like I say, in response, sometimes we do and sometimes we don't. It depends on the case. I would say that I've talked in the past to the residents that Mr. Schilla is referring to on Woodbury.
Mm-hmm.
I have not on this case, but I did not hear from him either. So the concerns he's representing, I have not heard from them.
Mr. Schiller, are you representing is it,
4194 Rocky River Drive, I'm representing.
you're on Rocky River Drive,
Next door,
next door to the south?
correct. And I'm wondering about, I've proposed to the councilman to have an ordinance, but he said it's not necessary for, make it mandatory that anywhere where there's fast food sold, they have to put garbage receptacles around the perimeter of their edifice or their building or where they're conducting their business.
Okay.
I've talked to Mr. Campbell about it, and he said they do have them at the CAMS area where there is, they call it Drunk Alley, where there's all those bars, the bars district. And I was told that you have to join their club or whatever to get the garbage cans at other locations. Anywhere where there's food sold, there's always packaging left. And I know that, and I have purchased pizza from there. They sell it by the slice and it comes in a package. And I've picked up their some of their packaging that others have just thrown on the ground. So is there going to be some sort of like receptacles around the perimeter of your edifice or your building?
Okay. Mr. Fargus, so it raises a couple of questions about things that may not be on your site plan that might need to be included. I'm guessing you're probably going to include trash receptacles outside.
Most definitely.
And the other thing that typically we look at that I didn't notice is some sort of bicycle parking, since you're in an area that is sort of pedestrian friendly. I imagine a lot of the neighbors are gonna just be walking over to pick things up. Are you gonna have any exterior seating for anyone who wants to dine outside on site? Those three things: receptacles, bike parking, exterior dining.
Receptacles for sure. This is John Fargus. Receptacles for sure. I could most definitely accommodate bicycles. I could take a spot. I could put the racks in. I could mark the pavement once the pavement's all redone. That could all be taken care of. And the last one was
Seating for anyone that's waiting or wants to just eat on site.
No, we will not entertain any seating outside. Obviously, we're with the parking lot. I don't feel safe putting anybody outside. I never was a fan of going anywhere and eating outside right next to a street or a parking lot. So I will not put anyone in that position. So no, we will have a little bit of seating up front in there to accommodate
Inside
that.
the building.
Yes, ma'am. Long-term.
Like a two-top or something like that.
Correct. Long-term, which I should have mentioned before, is this building, the one side, the left side of it, the south side, I am currently renting out. And my kids, obviously are part owners, and we are already discussing opening that up, after we get this done and up and running and everything taken care of, our investment's done. We want to end up opening up the side next to us for seating in, like a restaurant seating inside there.
Okay,
So
inside dining.
Yes, ma'am. We're trying to do one step at a time because this is a very costly investment, but
Right.
we feel that I am 100% positive to invest this kind of money because I know it's going to be a success. So I'm just asking for the help to get us up and running. And
Okay, we have one more question from Mr. Schiller. Go ahead.
Isn't there a requirement how many square foot for how many parking spaces should?
Well, that's why he's here, Mr. Schiller.
What is that requirement, Mr. Campbell, if you know it off the top of your head? You have to have for.
Yeah, I don't work for the
Ratio.
building department. I work for the
Right.
nonprofit, so I don't I'm
How
not,
many,
Well,
how many
that's,
square foot is the total of that building?
that's already been reviewed, sir.
Well, can we have a community meeting about it? I know I'm maybe out of place here.
We're here today and they've got support from the CDC, they've got support from the council person. We're gonna move forward,
Okay.
okay? And, board, do you have questions or comments from the board, please?
The only question I have, Madam Chair, for the appellant is just, how are you gonna address queuing, like, you know, lines in and out from the street, the two side streets?
John Fargus, we have two entrances into the parking lot. We have one coming straight off of Rocky River Drive, and we have another side on Woodbury. So it makes it a very easy proposal for cars in and out. We don't have just one entrance into the parking lot.
So you're not anticipating any backlog of cars onto the street? People are gonna move?
No, actually, to be honest with you, this is a lot better scenario for me than where I am at. Where I'm at, I have parking right in front of the building up to the sidewalk, which is very dangerous. And I don't like that. I never did, but when I bought the business, that's something that I paid attention to 13 years ago. As you run a business and you grow, you learn and you understand what you need. That's why when my son and I looked at this building and we made the commitment to buy it because we knew what we want to do by expanding, we looked at all the different things. However, we didn't realize that there was a 25-foot setback. I'm going to be totally honest with you, and that this is why I'm here. But we looked at everything else, the layout, the in and out of parking, how much parking we would have. What can we do with this building? And the sky's the limit right now for us with this building. And you would be, I think you'd be very proud and shocked what you would see a before and after. And I'm being totally honest with you.
Thank you so much for that. Madam Chair, I don't have anything else.
Okay, Ms. Wilson, anything?
Nothing, Madam Chair. Thank you.
All right, great. Mr. Bruins?
Maurice Rollins, City Planning. I just have one question. So, this is dine in or takeout only, or both?
Fast casual. Yeah, it's fast casual right now. The first half of our project, and as time goes on, we'll see what we're going to do with the other side. But I think the ultimate goal is to expand it to the other side of our building and redesign that with nice seating, a casual, comfortable, restaurant. But right now, to get our feet wet, to keep business going for the city of West Park and for us, our first goal is to take on this first part of it, get it done, and then we'll move forward after that. We'll decide what we want to do with it. But ultimately, I want to make this place a unique place for West Park. As Ben mentioned, if you drive up and down Rocky River Drive, there's a lot of vacant buildings, and I don't understand why. I'm not part of that. However, we had the opportunity to get one of these vacant buildings and do something with it. And that's why I'm looking to invest the money to do what we want to do and make this Dante's Pizza, keep it going another 40 years.
Well, we've had some cases, sir, with regard to this section of Rocky River Drive. The animal hospital has been here for one some time ago, so we're aware of sort of the situation, and that there is some planning between the CDC and the council person and city planning for development. I think in answer to Mr. Rulin's question, at this point, you're not really doing any inside dining seating. The seating is really for anyone who's kind of going to be waiting for their pizza or just wants to sit for a second and eat their slice or something. Is that correct?
That's exactly correct.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so, continuing on, I think it's great to see, partially vacant, right now, it's currently partially vacant building put to, complete reuse, so that's fantastic. I would echo the comments of Mr. Campbell. With regard to the 25-foot setback, it is a kind of a legacy setback that probably does need to be removed. And the board, in this case, does have the ability to grant a variance because they are not, nothing is being constructed in the setback. Parking spaces are not considered a structure. So you would have the authority to grant the variance to the 25-foot setback. They have, on variance number 2, they have taken care of the landscaping, whereas nothing was proposed initially. They are now providing landscaping in the front. It is somewhat of a tight site for the parking. I understand why the landscaping has had to be minimal in the front and not exactly, and that is kind of somewhat of a triangular piece to accommodate the angle of Rocky River Drive. We understand that they're trying to maximize the parking, which is good because we have another letter from another adjacent resident that was a little bit concerned about the parking situation, saying that, you know, Woodbury is a quiet street and there may not be enough parking, but they're adding parking, then they'll have 7 spots. And there is parking on the street as well, especially next to the building. So we would definitely support this project.
And we do not have a parking variance on our agenda.
That is also a good point to note that they do meet the minimum parking requirements, or they would have been written up for that.
Right, so that responds to your question.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, board,
Madam Chair,
yes.
I do have a
Ms.
question.
Kukla? Yes.
Along Woodbury, I can't tell for sure on the site plan, is there separation between the parking and the sidewalk? Will there be any ornamental fencing or anything like that?
No. This is Kevin. None has been planned for at this point.
And Madam Chair, just to let you know, that's another spot where landscaping was required.
How do you feel about the fencing?
I am perfectly fine if they would be willing to add some ornamental fencing along the sidewalk.
Okay.
It's kind of a way to protect pedestrians walking along the sidewalk.
Right, okay, so gentlemen, that's gonna be another condition, should we approve this for you? Is typically what we request is some black ornamental fencing to separate any pedestrian area from the driveway.
Sure, that's not a problem.
Okay, all right.
Not a problem.
All right, so things that will be required, you'll need to submit a new drawing with these things included. These would be conditioned should we approve this variance. We'd want to see placement of trash receptacles, the bike rack, and the ornamental fencing. And with regard to the ornamental fencing, and also your livestock, which would be your planting material. Typically, we ask to see cut sheets, so pictures of both the fencing that you intend to use, and that will need to meet the opacity requirements and also the planting material that you intend to use. So those things would need to be added to the drawing and submitted to our secretary prior to ratification, should we vote to approve these variances for you. Anything else?
One other quick question. Do you do delivery as well, or is this just takeout?
We do delivery, yes.
Just curious.
Good, all right. All right, so that's clear with that.
Did we get hours? I'm sorry to interrupt. Did we get hours of
No, we
operation?
did not. We went to the variance issues. So, gentlemen, Ms. Kukla had an excellent question. We just need to know your days and your hours of operation, basic information from your business plan.
Yeah, our days are Tuesday through Sunday. We are closed on Monday. Operation is 11 a.m. to 8:30 p.m. Tuesday through Thursday. 11 a.m. to 9:30 p.m. on Friday, and then 11 till 7:30 p.m. on Sundays.
I'm sorry, what was the closing time for Friday, please?
9:30 p.m.
9:30, okay. And then Saturday again was 11 to
11 to 8:30,
11 to 8:30.
and
Okay.
Sunday, in case you didn't get it, is 11 to 7:30.
Okay. All right. All right, anything else?
And that's all that I have. Thank you.
Okay, all right. Yes, sir.
About the dumpster, will that be on the new plans?
The dumpster's on the plan, sir.
But
Yeah.
I'd like to see it further towards.
It needs to stay where it is because that's where the curb cut is.
Okay.
But there will, as is consistent with most restaurants, there will be pest control. And I don't know if you're familiar with those, but they're typically very large
Boxes.
boxes. Correct, right. Little houses, they can go in and can't come out.
They check in but don't check out.
Exactly, yeah. All right. Okay, all right. To whoever of my board members is making the motion, we've got trash receptacles, the bike rack, the fencing, and the necessary cut sheets and pictures of those items, and revised new drawing as part of the package. So whoever would like to take this, I will entertain the motion.
All right, Madam Chair, I move to approve calendar number 23-119, with the condition that we will receive revised drawings and cut sheets, showing the trash receptacles, an addition of a bike rack, and also ornamental fence. And that we will hold ratification until we receive those items. Did I miss anything?
I think you got it all, Ms. Roca. Thank you.
All right, great.
I will take a second, please. Ms. Wilson?
Second.
Thank you. You were probably muted. All right.
Yes, thank you.
Ms. Kukla?
Ready for the roll?
Ready for the roll.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Roca?
Yes.
Ms. Faith?
Yes.
Calendar number 23-119 is granted conditionally. We will hold ratification for the revised final site plan showing location of trash receptacles, bike rack, and ornamental fence, as well as a cut sheet showing the landscaping and the style of ornamental fence proposed. Once we receive those revised drawings, we will ratify the case on the following Monday, and then we will send the appellants a letter.
All
Thank
right,
you,
all
Susan.
clear,
Thank you.
gentlemen?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations to you on your succession planning. So let's hope that this new location keeps the business thriving so you can move forward with that for the next generation.
Thank you for everything.
So have a good day, be a good neighbor, and as I'm sure you will be, and good luck to you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye now. All right.
Thank you for your time, sir.
Thank you for coming down. All right.
Pizza.
Yeah.
Good pizza.
Not bad. I don't like it.
Been there a long time.
All right, moving on. You ready?
Sure. And this is calendar number 23-80 at 566 East 103rd Street. This was postponed from June 12th, 2023. Dentrice Witt proposes to establish use as a residential facility for 6 occupants, A1, one family residential district. The owner appeals for relief from the strict application of the following sections of the Cleveland Codified Ordinances. Number one, section 352.571, which states that a residential facility means a publicly or privately operated home or facility licensed to pursuant to state law that provides accommodation, supervision, and personal care services to any of the following. A, one or two unrelated persons with mental illness. B, one or two unrelated adults who are receiving residential state supplement payments as defined in the Ohio Revised Code. Or C, 3 to 16 unrelated adults. And then section 337.02H, which states a residential facility is defined in chapter 325 of the zoning code for 6 unrelated persons and is not permitted in a one-family zoning district, but is first permitted in a multifamily zoning district. This was postponed from June 12th. Again, testimony was taken at that time. It was postponed to allow time for the appellant to meet with the council. Thank you.
Okay.
And Madam Chair, we have received an email from the councilperson, which states that he is now in support of the variance request, as she has taken all the appropriate steps to seek support from him, the CDC, and the community. And we did receive also an email from the appellant with signatures from neighbors supporting the variance. I have those for you right here.
Okay, board members, the petition with the signatures from the neighbors are 8 neighbors. Anything from the CDC?
No, I do not have anything.
Okay.
I believe we have a letter from the council.
Yes,
Yeah.
I just read that into the record.
Okay, so, I'm blinking.
The appellant is here.
All
I
right.
would like to hear comments from her. And did we get legal
No.
standard? We've had the history already, Madam Chair.
Yeah, we've had the history since we heard this case on June 12th. So we'll take the legal standard, please.
About swearing in first.
Thank you. Ms. Roca, would you like to swear in?
Sure, I'll swear in all who are on the call first. I'm swearing in all who are present for this case. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your hand, reply with I do, state your name, and state your address.
I do, Rebecca Walker. My address is 24370 Chardon Road.
Thank you. Is there anyone else on the call? Is there anyone in the room?
No.
Okay, great. Thanks, Madam Chair. Back to you.
So Ms. Walker, what is your relationship to the case?
My relationship is, someone was trying to speak? Okay. My relationship is the mother of Dentry. She just had to go to work, but I'm also in lieu of doing the project. And as they, I'm nervous. As they were speaking, I did have to do my due diligence with getting everyone on board. And the reason you see 8 signatures, because some of the other houses on the street are vacant. And in the process, I'm hoping to speak with the councilman even further to get those properties together to make sure that everyone is going to be in a safe environment.
So are you speaking on behalf of your daughter, or are you involved in the business yourself?
I'm involved in the business.
Okay. Do we feel comfortable with letting her?
Well, I'm the one who actually is putting it together.
If you would like a letter from the owner officially.
Yeah. We're gonna ask you, Ms. Walker, since Dentrice is not here with us as well, to submit to us a letter that you are authorized to act as the agent.
They sent me a letter saying that I can act as the agent. And I can get Dentrice on the phone. I didn't feel she was needed since they sent me that letter stating that I was the one who
to her?
Yes,
When
it
you
is.
say they sent you a letter, who is they?
I'm sorry. The city, the zoning committee sent me the letter saying that it was me.
Okay, 1 second.
Okay.
Madam Chair, our records indicate that we send it to Dentrice Witt at the address provided on the application. And that would be 566 East 103rd Street, Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
And the letter does state that officially that if you are sending a representative, that you would need to do the authorization letter. So maybe there's confusion if they both reside in the same address. But officially in our records, it shows that the letter went to Ms. Dentrice.
Okay. Ms. Walker, did you hear all of that? That's our secretary. The letter went out to Dentrice. We feel comfortable moving forward on this and letting you act as an agent, but we will ask for a letter to be sent from Dentrice, authorizing you to act on her behalf.
Well, Dentrice is on the phone now. And I had another person that was trying to get in and they're having a hard time getting in.
Okay. So Dentrice has not been sworn in. Is she available to speak?
Yes, she is.
Okay. Ms. Roca, can you just swear Ms. Witt in for us quickly?
Sure. I'm going to read the oath. I'm swearing in all who are present for this case. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your hand, reply with I do, state your name, and state your address. We need your name and your address, please.
Dentrice Witt, 11321 Methil Avenue, Cleveland, Ohio, 44120.
And Dentrice, are you authorizing Rebecca Walker to speak on your behalf in this case?
Yes.
Okay, great. Just in case Dentrice has to leave us again, we have that verbal authorization. So thank you for that. We appreciate it. So Ms. Walker, you can go ahead and tell us 1 second, legal standard.
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting a use variance from the requirements of the zoning code. To obtain a use variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will result in an unnecessary hardship, particular to property such that there will be no economically feasible use of the property without the variance, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and that granting the variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Great, thank you. Excuse me. All right, Ms. Walker.
Yes.
If you'd like to go ahead and tell us what you plan to do, please.
Well, what I plan to do is move veterans into a comfortable environment, safe environment, so that we can get them off the street. And right now I sent a picture to show you just the living room. And if you're looking at the picture of the home, it looks 100% better. We cut a lot of trees down because looking over there to the right of the building, well, the left of the building, you really couldn't see in there. It was all tree. The house had trees in front of it. And I had all that cut down so that you could actually see the home. So what we have done is we have made it comfortable for the veterans to have a safe place to reside. And
So-
again, Councilman Conwell agreed as well. My mayor has also agreed, Kim Thomas. So I think that it should be well, I don't know what the decision is going to be, but I do know that I think I'm doing a good thing in the neighborhood.
So do you own that lot that's to the left of the home as well?
Yes.
Okay, so you've got all that green space besides the house itself.
Yes, and that's going to become a little sitting area for them if they want to go outside, because I'm with the CRC program, and that's a licensed program that I'm not just going to be getting any veterans. I'm going to be getting veterans who have their own manager to come and get an interview. So I just think that this is a good project, and after this is approved, then I have to go and meet with them as well. I've taken several classes. I've also been a businesswoman over 30 years. So I think this was a good idea because my father was a veteran. My granddaughter is now in the Navy as a veteran, and my two sisters was Navy. So this led me to this project.
So if you will, for us, we have a new board member who will be voting on this, who wasn't present to hear this testimony on the 12th of June. So if you would just recap for us, obviously you've stated that you're going to have veterans. What are going to be their ages? How many staff are you going to have? And when are the staff going to be present? Are you going to be administering medication? And what is the meal situation? And your plans for them if there's going to be a curfew or if they're going to be coming and going during the day, those sorts of specifics, if you can tell us that.
Okay, that was a lot of information, but I'm gonna try to remember.
All right.
We are gonna have a menu, and their ages, I won't know the age because again, with me being with the CRC program, they bring them and then we discuss that when they bring them for the interview. The staffing, it would be someone who actually lives in the home, and then it would be another manager who would do the other areas. The young men or older guys, you give them a day when they need to wash, when they and to clean certain areas. And as far as their curfew, we do set the curfew, but we do tell them, and we have to tell everyone that they cannot smoke in the home. And that is the only thing that really I totally 100% agree with, because I have areas in the back where they can go and smoke if that's what they desire to do.
So this is going to be all male, is that correct?
Yes.
And they will be age 18 plus at least?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So not necessarily seniors.
You know, I have a veteran working with me now, Mr. Green, and he is a senior, so I would think there would be seniors as well.
All right. And you're going to have one staff person on site and then another person coming in. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. And you're going to be serving 3 meals or 2 meals?
Yes, we're going to be serving a snack as well as breakfast and lunch and dinner. So it's going to be 3, actually 4, because you count the snack as well.
Okay. All right. And you said there was going to be a curfew. Do you know what that's going to be?
My curfew, since they are grown, I would say 12 o'clock.
All right. So that's midnight?
Yes.
And what about medication?
We're not going to administer medication. That is going to be for their caseworker.
All right. And how many bedrooms are there in the house?
There's 6.
6 bedrooms, okay. I feel like I'm forgetting something. All right, board members, any questions or comments? All right.
No, Madam Chair.
Thank you for responding, Ms. Roca. City Planning?
Yes, Madam Chair, now that the councilmen and the community have weighed in and support this project, as you know, we usually depend on the council person and the neighbors who will be most affected by these to show their support. And they have done that, and we would recommend.
All right. Board, we have support from the councilperson, Councilman Hairston of this project. City Planning is in support. We've covered the details of the business plan and the care strategy for the residents that are going to be occupying the building. So with that, and we have a petition with signatures from the adjacent neighbors. So with that, I'll entertain a motion, please.
After hearing the testimony given here today, I would move to grant calendar 23080.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Could I have a second, please?
I second, Board Member Roca.
Thank you. Ms. Kukla, the roll?
Ms. Roca?
Yes.
Ms. Wilson?
Yes.
Ms. Bates?
Yes.
Calendar number 23-80 is granted. It'll be ratified next week, and we will send the appellant a letter.
So, Ms. Walker, you've been approved. Good luck to you, and we hope it works out well.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
All right. Last case.
Okay, Madam Chair, this is calendar number 23-071. This is a rehearing from June 12th. It's regarding 3763 West 136th Street. Jessica Rodriguez, owner, proposed to establish use an in-home salon business located in an A1 one-family residential district. The owner appealed for relief from the strict application of section 337.23A2, which stated that a customary home occupation for a gain carried on in the main building or in a rear building, accessory thereto, and requiring only customary home equipment is permitted in a residence only if non-resident help is employed for that purpose, no trading of merchandise carried on, and no personal physical service is performed. You may remember that at the June 12th hearing, testimony was taken, and this board granted a variance, and a condition was made that the operation hours will be Monday through Friday. However, the applicant contacted us later and stated that was a miscommunication. I mean, she meant that the hours of operation would be 7 days a week, by appointment only. So we thought that was enough of a change to bring her back to let the community know, as well as the council person. And that's why we're here today. If you wanted to hear more testimony. Of course,
Did we have any further communication from the CDC or the council person?
No, nothing.
Okay, all right. Ms. Rodriguez, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Good morning.
Okay, we're just going to swear you in, please. Ms. Roca?
Sure. Swearing in all who are present for this case. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth? Please raise your hand, reply with I do, state your name and your address.
I do. Jessica Rodriguez, 3763 West 136th Street, Cleveland, Ohio, 44111.
Thank you. Do we need
Is there
to
anyone
redo
in the room for this case?
legal standard? No, there's not.
Okay,
Do we
thank
need
you.
to redo legal standard?
Yes, maybe for the new. the
Okay.
new member as well.
All right. We're gonna reread the legal standard on this for the benefit of our new board member.
Madam Chair, members of the board, appellant is requesting a use variance from the requirements of the zoning code. To obtain the use variance, appellant must prove that denying the request will result in an unnecessary hardship particular to the property such that there will be no economically feasible use of the property without the variance, will deprive the appellant of substantial property rights, and the granting variance will not be contrary to the purpose and intent of the zoning code.
Okay, great, thank you. All right, this was a conditional approval on this variance, with the hours being stated as Monday through Friday. And there is a reason that we reiterate specifics when we state the motion for voting for the approval or not. And so it was in the notes that it was Monday through Friday. And I understand, Ms. Rodriguez, that apparently that is not your intent from your business plan, that you wish to have it 7 days a week, and it will remain by appointment only. The council person stated in his testimony that day that he supported the variance with the stipulation that it was conditional. So that is why we, and both the CDC and the council person were present for your initial hearing on this. So I'm going to open it up to the board if they have any questions or comments that they wish to make about changing this from Monday through Friday to 7 days a week. Ms. Roca, Ms. Wilson, any questions or comments?
Nothing for me, Madam Chair.
No
Okay.
questions from me either. Thank you.
All right. So I'll entertain a motion to extend Ms. Rodriguez's hours to 7 days a week from Monday through Friday as a condition of her variance for use.
Madam Chair, I move to approve calendar number, 23-071. After the change that is put before the board today on the days of the week and hours of the business.
I would second.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. Call the roll, please.
Ms. Wilson,
Yes.
Ms. Roca,
Yes.
Ms. Faith.
Yes.
Calendar number 23-071 is granted conditionally. We will ratify this next week and we will send the appellant a letter.
Okay, Ms. Rodriguez, this is a conditional variance for use of a business of this type in your household in a residential neighborhood. So you will be limited to by appointment only, but it's been changed to 7 days a week. All right,
Thank you so much.
Good luck to you.
Bye-bye.
Madam Chair, if we could have an opinion from Mary regarding ratifying these with Ms. Wilson, or would we need to hold it until Ms. Holzer is here for the ratification of the cases today? What are your thoughts on that?
So ratifying is just confirming their former
Yeah,
vote.
Right, but Ms. Wilson wasn't here, obviously, for the vote.
we've done it both ways.
Technically, we should wait.
I think that's probably.
I agree. I would just say that you can't ratify something that you didn't vote on.
Right.
Okay, so we'll hold those. We will not ratify any of those cases until next week. Then there is an affirmation requested here for calendar number 22-115. The Shoreway Building LLC proposed to erect an additional 10-story apartment building consisting of 73 dwelling units and 183 parking space. The owner stated that they need more time as they are waiting for the architectural drawings to be complete. They have issues with interior design, so they need an additional 6 months. And I'm sorry, I didn't put the date on there, but they are within the 6 months window to request that affirmation.
Okay,
So they are not expired as of yet.
they're not expired. Okay, so is that clear to you, board members? They're not expired, they just,
So they're just asking for more time to present their case or to get us new drawings.
So
We already heard this case, right?
Right. And I guess I should also explain to Ms. Wilson that each variance that's granted is allowed 6 months to acquire the permit. If they don't acquire the permit within those 6 months, then they can ask for us to affirm it an additional 6 months. So, and that's the case here. The applicant was unable to complete the process. And one of the steps in the process is to complete and submit architectural drawings to building and housing in order to construct the addition. So I believe that's what they're waiting for, is the complete drawings. They do not have to submit that to us because it's interior and we only deal with the exterior.
Got it. No objection for me.
okay. Yeah, it's interior plans that they have to submit, so it really is, not what we look at anyway, but we need to extend them, the extra time. So, all right, so, without objection then, Ms. Roca, you weighed in, Ms. Wilson?
No objection from me either.
Okay, so we're good.
Thank you, and that's all that we have for you this morning.
All right, that concludes our Board of Zoning Appeals for today. So move to adjourn, someone.
So moved.
Thank you. We are adjourned.
Thank you, Arlisha. Hope you enjoyed today.
Yes, thank you for helping me through the first one. I appreciate it, you all.
Welcome to the board.
Well, yes.
Happy to have you.
And thank you for making motions and being brave enough to do that on your first day. Much appreciated.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
We'll see you next week.
All right, bye everyone.